Another marketplace find. Got myself an AC15 and learned a couple things about it so far. When you go to clean the logo, don't knock the gold off. That might get custom painted something interesting, but I did my normal thing. We met in public outside, did a quick demo, and I bought it. Got a pretty good price on her. And turns out when I got home, he was a smoker. And this thing was blaring. It was loudly smelly. So I've taken her apart and learned a couple things. I'm always a little wary of cleaning particle board because, it'll soak up water and then lose all its structure. Whatever this black paint is on here did pretty well at sealing water out. I did a few test areas, didn't have an issue. I had this thing sprayed down, scrubbed with Dawn and water, and almost no issue. The only place that I saw any problem in the edges here, so I probably should have re-glued the tolex up nice to begin with, and it would have avoided that. But, it didn't get too deep. I'm not worried about it being a structural issue or anything like that, but apparently where the cut occurred, it was allowed to get some moisture in. Other areas, not so bad. Then handle, 3 of the 4 just snapped off the screws immediately. So this is pretty easy too. You can use a nail and, whoop, here we go, backwards drive out the little barbed T-nut, or, I've heard them called different things, speed nuts, whatever. But this little threaded boss inside of a little grabber flangey doodle. And so, yeah, once you drive it out, they might have been glued, but they're not too tight in there. You can get brand new ones from Lowe's or Home Depot. I used 832s, and they call them T-nuts pronged. So, yeah, a couple stainless screws, and back in business. These were, what length were these? They were 1 inch, and I think that ends up being right on. We'll see if it hits the chassis, and if it does, then shame on me. But I always use just soap and water on Tolex, and I'm usually a little more conservative, but got to kind of do the deluge because this material wasn't too bad. And I actually did this board and the full grill cloth as well because it still smells a little tarry. But it originally had kind of a flap, and it's just a circular cutout here. A little bit of flap in that fabric, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to tighten it up one way or another, but getting it wet and letting it dry, tightened right up, so it's right as rain. And just a general kind of tip on cleaning grill cloths, especially if they're not jet black. If you're going to get it wet at all, get it completely consistently wet, so if there's any color change, it's consistent throughout the entire thing, and that can help you, not have that goofball water damage look that you see sometimes. When I was first pulling off the back panels, I don't know what it was, but it's a little sticky along that, so just be careful. You don't want to break it. It's thin stuff. But if you take out all the screws and it doesn't want to come, just some kind of gentle pulling along this edge here, and, work with it. Don't be impatient. They'll come. The speaker was the same way. Everything on mine, whether it was cigarette tar or otherwise, who knows. And couldn't find clear directions online on how to date these things. And if I remember right, I think I found this image to have a little year on there somewhere. I think that might say 2011. It's hard to read, but I can definitely confirm here that the reverb tank is dated. It's the same date range for the most part as everything else, so I would assume this is original. People complain about the reverb on these things. I think this is great, so I don't know if I got lucky and have a better one, but the transformers also have production codes. This one, a little harder to see, but it's on the back there. It has a date. So if you're trying to date yours, definitely possible. I don't think there was anything on the greenback, but clean the speaker cone and the whole 9. But at any rate, just going through here, and like I said, if you're trying to do a complete cleaning, just a good, relatively tight bristled brush, or a car wash rag is plenty, and then this thing will be beautiful here a couple hours.